Hello again, all you Dodger diehards. I'm Jimmy the Greek, welcoming you to another exciting edition of Strat-O-Matic Dodger Baseball. This is the 1951 edition of Dodger Baseball, as we are playing a National League replay, and this is Game 16. Dodgers enter tonight's contest with a 7-8 record, 1 game under 500, 3 games out of first place. The Reds 7-6, and they are 2 games behind the leaders. Taking a look at the game that was played in 1951 on Thursday, May 3rd, Brooklyn jumped out to a 3-0 lead after the first inning, and they never looked back as Peterson cruised to his 3rd victory of the season, and the Dodgers crushed the Reds by a final score of 8-0. Dodgers had 8 runs, 11 hits, committed 1 error, and that was committed by Billy Cox over at third base. He gets the start for us as well tonight. And the Reds line went no runs, 6 hits, and they had 1 error committed as well, and that was by Blake, bullpen pitcher. Perhaps we'll see him today, who knows. But we welcome you to Ebbets Field tonight, an average night for baseball, as the singles go 1-7 both ways. And the home runs are 1-12 for lefties and 1-17 for righties. Peterson takes the mound. He comes into tonight's contest with a 1-1 record, 23 innings pitched, 28 hits, 7 walks, 14 strikeouts, and he has given up 2 long balls. As he settles in, Connie Ryan will lead things off for the Reds, and we are underway. And the first offering from Rowe is a 6-5. And right away, we've got a split. It is a 7. And a leadoff home run for Ryan to start out the ball game. So the Reds jump out to a 1-0 lead after 1 hitter. And Rowe will now have to settle back in as Grady Hatton steps up. And the pitch on the way is a 5-11. And the next chance for Hodges over at first base. It is a 5 on an 11, and there's an error. So the Dodgers shaky start to the ball game as Peterson gives up a leadoff home run, and then Hodges boots one over at first base. So Rowe checks the runner. He brings Joe Adcock his first offering of the ball game, and it is a 5-9. And there's the strikeout, big first strikeout, as Ted Kluszewski steps in. And the pitch on the way to Kluszewski is a 4-8. 4-8 to Kluszewski is a fly ball to left field. That's 2 away. And it'll be Bob Usher now with 2 outs, 1 run in, and a runner on at first for the Reds. And he gets a 3-3. And that is a ground ball to second, inning over. But the leadoff home run for the Reds, Ryan, puts them up 1-0 as Cal Abrams gets his first start of the season. He's out in left field this evening for the Dodgers. And the first pitch on the way to Abrams is a 5-10 from Red starter Herm Wemmemeyer. It is a 5-10. On a split, it is a 5. And there's a leadoff single for Abrams. So Abrams gets the start, and he comes through with a single. And Pee Wee Reese, first opportunity in the 2-hole this season, as Chuck Dressen trots out a bit of a different starting lineup. So Pee Wee Reese in the 2-hole. Abrams now stands on at first, nobody out. And the offering on the way from Wemmemeyer is a 4-12. And a split for Reese is a 9. And Pee Wee Reese comes through with a single. So back-to-back singles, and the Dodgers are putting a threat together here in the bottom half of the first inning as the Duke steps up for his first plate appearance. He is hitting a staggering 177 to start out the season, and he gets a 6-6 offering. And a forced play at first. Kluszewski has a forced play as he tried to turn the double play at second. He gets the runner at second, doesn't the relay does not beat Snyder back to the bag. Snyder is in safely. That puts runners on the corners, though, as Abrams was able to advance, and Robinson comes up. Offering to Robinson is a 2-7. And a fly ball to center. We are going to try to send Abrams. It is a 1-14. And the throw coming home will try to advance Snyder as well. Not cut off. Play at the plate is an 11. And Abrams slides in safely. Snyder advances. Robinson gets the job done, and we have a tie ball game. As Gil Hodges an RBI opportunity here with 2 outs in the first. 3-6. And he draws a 2-out walk. And Campanella now. 48 at-bats, and Campy's still hitting over 500 with an awesome 521. As the pitch on the way to Campanella is a 5-9. And a ground ball to third, but the Dodgers even things out as they pick up a run of their own in the bottom of the first. And after one, we are knotted at one. As Preacher-O offers up a 5-9 to Weirostic. And that's a strikeout. So Rowe starts the second a lot better than he did the first. As he picks up the strikeout in the second inning, it's Dixie Howell with a 6-12. And a split chance for Abrams out in the left. It is a 5, so that ball gets down for a single. Does he field it cleanly on an 11? He does not, and that is going to move Howell all the way to third base. As the ball dropped in, and then Abrams booted it, and Howell races around to third, and that will force the defense to play in to try to cut down Howell at home as Roy McMillan steps in with 1 out. A 4-10 to McMillan. And this is Pee Wee Reese with the next chance. On a 2, that gets through, and that will score 1. As Pee Wee Reese can't come up with the play, McMillan's on with a single, and the infield will move back as the Reds take back the lead. And the pitcher looks to lay a bunt down, Wemmemeyer, and it is successful. So that moves the runner up. McMillan at second. Now Connie Ryan comes up. This is his second opportunity in as many innings. He hit a leadoff home run back in inning number 1. And now an opportunity for him to extend the Reds' lead. And it is a 5-2. On a split, it's an 11. And there is a home run for Ryan, a 2-run shot, and that puts the Reds now up 4-1. As Preacher-O getting batted around hard today. As Grady Hatton digs in with 2 outs, a 5-11. On a split for Hodges, 2 errors already by the Dodgers today. And it is a 1-5. And a hard ball up the middle. Got the out at first, thanks to an assist from the pitcher. But the Reds extend their lead by 3 runs to make it 4-1. As Furillo comes up for his first at-bat of the game. Typically in the top half of the lineup, finds himself in the 7-hole here this evening, and it is a 6-8 for Furillo. On a split chance, it is a 4, and a leadoff triple for Carl Furillo. So it appears that neither pitcher has brought their A game today, as Billy Cox will dig in, and he gets a 1-7. And a ground ball to short. That will bring the run in. Furillo scores. Cox picks up the RBI on the putout, and the Dodgers cut the lead down. It's now 4-2 Reds as Preacher-O steps in. First at bat of the day is a 5-10. On a split, it is a 20. Line out to short. 2 away is Abrams now, his second turn. 5-7. Looking to make up for that boot out and left. On a split chance, it is an 8. And Abrams grounds to first, ends the inning. But the Dodgers get 1 back, and after 2, they trail 4-2 as Joe Adcock steps in. 4-5 from the preacher. 4-5. Pop up to short. Now it's Ted Kluszewski. Pitch on the way to Kluszewski is a 5-9. And there's a big strikeout, 2 away, and now it's up to Usher to extend the red inning. A 3-6 from Preacher-O. 3-6. Pop up to short. Good shutdown inning there. Now can the Dodgers make something happen with the 2, 3, and 4 hitters coming up? Pee Wee Reese, a 3-10 on the way. And a split chance, it's a 3. And a single for Pee Wee Reese. So he's on for the second time. As Reese will look to potentially steal second. He is running. And he's out. No chance at a throw. He is thrown out. So Pee Wee Reese trying to steal. Gets gunned out from behind the plate. And there's 1 away for Duke Snider. And it is a 4-4. And this is McMillan's turn at short. It is a 9 and a 10. 9-10. And Snider out 6-3. Now it's Robinson with 2 outs. A 4-9. And Robinson on a split chance. It's a 12. And a single for Jackie Robinson. And he will look to at least get the jump. He does not. And it'll be left up to Gil Hodges to extend the inning. 2-9 for Hodges. On a split, it's a 15. And a fly ball to left ends the inning. Brooklyn goes quietly in the 3rd. As we enter the 4th, Cincinnati leads it 4-2. And Johnny Weirostic is up, and he gets a 2-3. And he draws a walk, so Weirostic on at first, and Howell steps up. Howell gunned down Pee Wee Reese from behind the plate in the bottom of the 3rd. Now an opportunity to extend the Red lead, and he gets a 1-7. And he strikes out, so 1 away as Roy McMillan now. 3-7. Force play at 3rd. They throw to 2nd, and they get the lead runner, Weirostic, as McMillan is safe at 1st. And now it'll bring up the pitcher, Wemmemeyer. And Herb Wememeyer's offering is a 5-6. Ground ball to short. That ends the inning. 3.5 over. Reds lead it 4-2. As Campanella steps up and he gets a 1-11. Ground ball to 2nd. That's 1 out. Now it's Carl Furillo, who got moved down to the 7-hole for the first time this season and promptly struck for a triple back in inning number 2. This time Furillo gets a 6-7. And this is Ryan at second base. Connie Ryan, tough chance on a 6 and a 12. 6 and a 12. He gets him. That's 2 outs. And now it's Cox. 6-7. And another opportunity for Ryan with 2 down this time. And it is an 8-10. 8-10, and the inning's over. So after a noisy first 2 innings from both squads, the offenses have quieted down just a bit as we enter the 5th. Score remains Cincinnati 4, Dodgers 2. As Connie Ryan leads off against Preacher-O in the top of the 5th, he sees a 5-3. And an opportunity for the Preacher on a tough play. He gets a 14 on a 7. 14 on a 7. Nice play by the preacher, one away. As Grady Hatton now in the 5th. 5-7. On a split, that is a 14. And Hatton picks up a 1-out double as Joe Adcock. He struck out and popped out today, but he is hitting .357 in this replay. He digs in against Preacher Row. Offering is a .310. On a split, that is a 3. And Hatton doubles, and that plates another Reds run. So the Reds extend their lead to 5-2 after back-to-back doubles. And it'll be Ted Kluszewski with 1 out. A 6-5 to Kluszewski. And another split. This is a 19. And a 3rd straight double for the Reds. And they have extended the lead to 6-2. As Preacher Road clearly not on his game today. And he delivers a 5-6 now to Bob Usher. Ground out to short. Kluszewski has to hold. And Johnny Wimmeyer. I'm sorry. It's Wirostek. Johnny Wirostek steps in, and he gets a 4-7. And he strikes out. But the Reds strike for 2 off the Preacher with 3 straight doubles. And after 4.5, they lead it by a score of 6-2. As Preacher Row will dig in, a 4-4 on the way. And this is McMillan out at short with an opportunity. It is an 11 on a 13. And McMillan makes the play, so there's 1 away in the 5th. Kyle Abrams now. 6-3 for Abrams. And this is Adcock out and left. Pitch on the way is a 10, so it's a clean single to start, and an 11. So just a clean single for Abrams with 1 out. As Adcock couldn't get to it. And Pee Wee Reese now will try his luck. Dodgers down by 4. And Pee Wee gets a 110. On a split, it is a 14. And a single for Pee Wee Reese, so he's got his 3rd single of the day. And now Duke Snyder comes up with 1 out. Pitch on the way to Snyder is a 110. On a split, it is a 2. And Snyder makes it a 1-run game as Duke Snyder gets a 3-run blast to put the Dodgers down by 1 here in the bottom of the 5th inning. So it's a brand new ball game as Jackie Robinson steps in. It is a 2-3. On a split, this is a 4. And Robinson singles now. So the Dodgers are stringing some hits together. Can Jackson get the Robinson get the jump? He does. And the throw down, it is a 12. So Robinson slides safely into second. And the Dodgers have the tying run in scoring position for Hodges. Pitch on the way to Hodges is a 3-8. And Hodges strikes out. 2 away for Campanella. And Campanella gets a 5-5. And a fly ball to center ends it, but the Dodgers do strike for 3, and they make it a 1-run ball game after 5. Cincinnati 6 and Brooklyn 5 as we see Homer Howell lead off. 7-8-9 for the Reds here to start the 6th. It is a 5-7. On a split, and it is a 6. And another double for the Reds as they are hitting Preacher-O hard today. That is the 8th hit for Cincinnati through 5 innings. And Roy McMillan will step in. Pitch on the way is a 3-7. And that's a ground ball to third. So Cox takes a glance at Howell, and he has to hold at second. And now it is the pitcher, Herman Wemmemeyer. And the pitch on the way is a 6-3. On a split, it is a 5. And there's a single that scores Howell. So the Reds now extend the lead back to 2 runs. As Preacher-O gives up his 7th run of the day. As Wemmemeyer comes through for help his cause. And now it'll be Connie Ryan, who already has 2 home runs today. He gets a 3-3. And a base hit for Ryan. That's going to move Wemmemeyer up 1. And that'll put runners on at first and second for Grady Hatton. And Hatton gets a 2-4. And he pops to second, 2 away for Joe Adcock. A 5-8 to Adcock. And this is Robinson's turn at second to end the inning. And he gets a 4. And it is a 14. So Robinson comes up with the ball, but the Reds extend it again, and they now lead it by a score of 7-5 as the Dodgers try to get close, and then they give it right back. As we head to the bottom of the 6th, Dodgers chasing 2, and Ferrillo sees a 4-3. And this is right fielder Rostek out there, and it is a 12 on a 9. So Rostek makes the play, or Rostek, sorry, makes the play. And Billy Cox digs in with one way. A 6-9 to Cox. And a split chance is a 10. And a double for Billy Cox, and that's going to be all we see of the Preacher today. Clearly does not have his best stuff, and we need some runs. So let's take a look at the verse right-hander list. Probably looking at Edwards. And we will go with Hammer and Hank Edwards. So 1 out, Cox stands on at second. Hank Edwards comes up. He's got 5 at-bats. He's hitting 400. Pitch on the way to Edwards is a 2-10. And a base hit for Edwards. And we're going to try it. We've been aggressive so far. We're going to keep being aggressive. Play at the plate. We'll send Edwards. They don't cut it off, and it is a 7. A 7 for Cox, and he scores. It's back to being a 1-run game. Edwards stands on at second. A big pinch hit single. He takes second on the throw, and the Dodgers back within 1, as it's now Cincinnati 7, Brooklyn 6, as Cal Abrams digs in. And a 4-8 to Abrams. And he lines to short, 2 away for Pee Wee Reese. A 6-4 on the way to Reese. And this is Howell behind the plate. Does not mess up too often. It is an 18 on a 9. I'm sorry, on a 10. And he makes the play 2-3. But the Dodgers get 1 run closer as they turn it into a 1-run game again, as Brooklyn trails Cincinnati by a score of 7-6, and we're going to see Clem Labine come in. He has not fared well his last 2 outings. He's blown 2 saves, so instead of holding on to him for the 9th, we're going to bring him in the 7th to try to hold it here. So Labine comes in. He'll face Klazuski. And Levine's first offering is a 6-7. And there's a strikeout. Levine comes into the game with an ERA over 4 as he's pitched to the tune of 8 innings. Bob Usher steps in, 1 away. Levine's offering is a 6-5. And a ground out to short. And now it'll be right fielder Johnny Wirostek. And Wirostek sees a 4-10. On a split, it is a 13. And a line out to second. So a solid inning there for Clem Levine as he comes in and holds the Reds at bay. And it is still a 1-run game as Duke Snyder steps in. And Snyder gets a 5-9. And that is a ground to short, so 1 away is Jackson now. 6-3 to Jackson. And that's Adcock out there in left. It is a 19 on a 6. And he doesn't get to many, but he gets to this one, and that's a big out. As anytime the ball skies to left, the Cincinnati franchise and fans hold their breath. So 2 away as Hodges steps in. And Hodges gets a 1-9. And Hodges strikes out. That ends the Brooklyn threat in the 7th. And we'll go to the 8th. Levine stays on, looking to hold it to a 1-run game. And Levine's offering is a 2-3 to Howell. And there's a leadoff single. No threat to steal as Howell. Nobody will hold him. It'll be Roy McMillan. And it is a 5-11 to McMillan. And a strikeout. So 1 away as the Reds will bunt. They'll try to move Howell up. They do. 2 outs. That brings Ryan up. Not a great hitter in the clutch. So Levine going to offer to Ryan, and it is a 4-7. On a split chance on a 17. And a line out to short. So Levine comes in, gets 2 shutout innings. And he gives the Dodgers a chance here in the 8th as it remains Cincinnati 7, Brooklyn 6. Campanella steps up and he sees a 6-5. Campanella strikes out. Now it's Furillo. Furillo gets a 1-8. And he grounds to the pitcher. 2 outs is Cox now. And Cox sees a 3-5. And Cox with a single. Levine will come out of the ball game. Actually, let's do this first. We're going to try to get a stolen base. He doesn't get the jump. Okay, now we'll go to the bench. And facing a righty, we're going to go with Gene Hermansky. Hermansky's had several starts out and left to start the season. He is on the bench today, but Hermansky comes in with 2 outs. Pitch on the way. It is a 3-5 to Hermansky. And a base hit for Hermansky, and we're going to try to move Cox to third. They're going to cut it off. Hermansky's held at first, so Gene Hermansky comes through with a pinch hit single. And the Dodgers have the tying run 90 feet away for Cal Abrams. And the pitch on the way to Abrams is a 2-7. And Abrams strikes out. And the Dodgers go down quietly in the 8th after a threat. And after 8, Cincinnati continues to lead it 7-6. As we've got... Okay, so they've got alternating going on. So we'll go with Branca. Ralph Branca will come in to try to shut down the Reds in the 9th inning and give the Dodgers a chance. As Branca faces Grady Hatton, and his first offering is a 1-3. And Branca promptly walks the leadoff hitter. Now it's Adcock, and it is a 1-3. And a ground out to second, so Hatton moves up, and it is Kluszewski. And we're going to walk Kluszewski to get to Bob Usher. Pitch on the way to Usher is a 5-9 from Branca. And that's a big strikeout. Big strikeout in a clutch situation. Wirostek gains several points. Howell loses several points. Next two hitters lose several points. We're going to... I don't like the decision, but I feel like it's the best. We walk Wirostek to put another insurance run on third base, and Howell comes up. Howell does not hit righties overly well. And Branca on with 2 outs. Let's see if it pays off. And it is a 1-4. On a split, it's a 19. And a line out to short. So it does pay off for the Dodgers as Branca comes in and gets, or Branca stays on, I should say, and induces the line drive out. And now the Dodgers, with the 2, 3, and 4 hitters coming up in the ninth, have a chance to tie or walk it off as they trail only by 1 run. Reese digs in. Pitch is on the way. It is a 6-9 to Pee Wee. On a split, it's an 18. Extra base hit for Reese. He's going to try to stretch it to a triple. And the play at third is a 2. Reese is in there with a leadoff triple for the Dodgers. A huge leadoff hit for Pee Wee Reese. And now the Dodgers have to be thinking not only about tying it up here, but winning the ball game. Obviously, you have to tie it before you can win it, but Reese on at third. You've got Snyder up. Pitch on the way is a 2-8 with the infield in. There's a single. Ball game is tied, and now the Dodgers have a chance to walk it off. As Kent Peterson gets brought into the game, lefty facing Robinson. Snyder will stay at first. We're going to try to sacrifice with Robinson. And a good sack gets Snyder to second. And now it'll be up to Hodges and Campanella. So the pitch on the way to Hodges. A 2-7. On a split, it's an 18. Fly ball to center, 2 away. And now it's Campanella's turn. An intentional walk to Campanella to get to Carl Furillo. So it'll be Furillo's opportunity. And it is a 2-4 to Furillo. On a split, it's a 12. And he lines out to shortstop. And we'll go to extras. So the Dodgers tie it up thanks to a leadoff triple by Pee Wee Reese, and he is promptly knocked in by Duke Snyder. But Snyder could only get to second base, and the Dodgers will take things to extras. Branca will stay on, and he'll face Roy McMillan. Pitch on the way is a 5-8. And McMillan grounds out to Reese at short, 1 away. And we'll see if Peterson stays on. He does. Pitch on the way to Peterson is a 2-7. And that's a strikeout. So 2 away, and Connie Ryan comes up. Pitch on the way to Ryan is a 1-6. And that's a ground ball to second. So now the Dodgers have an opportunity to win it here in the 10th as Billy Cox leads things off. 2-8 for Cox. Fly ball to center field. Bronco will come out of the ball game. As going down the list to a lefty now, we'll go with our other Edwards, Bruce Edwards. And Edwards against Peterson, it is a 3-10. 3-10 to Bruce Edwards. And that's a fly ball to right field. And now Abrams, probably his last at bat. It is a 5-7. And he strikes out. That will end the threat. And we'll play on as Thompson will go in, actually. Yeah, Thompson will go in for Edwards, and Thompson will play left field. And taking a look at what they have coming up, still alternating lineups. Going down the list, it'll be Haugstad. He'll enter into the #1 spot in the lineup, and Phil Haugstad will try to hold the Reds right here as Haugstad comes on. His first offering to Hatton is a 6-5. And there's a strikeout for Haugstad. Now it's Joe Adcock. 2-8. Ground ball to short. There's 2 away. And Ted Klazuski, 6-9. And this is Reese going to have to make a play for Haugstad. It's a 4, so Reese does get to it. And a 10, he fields it cleanly, and it's a clean throw. And that it will end the Cincinnati opportunity in the top of the 11th. And now the the Dodgers have a chance as they got 2, 3, and 4 up. Pee Wee Reese to lead things off. He gets moved to the 2 spot in the lineup, and he is promptly 4 for 5 with a huge triple just an inning ago. Just 2 innings ago in the 9th. As Reese digs in, it's Peterson's offering, and it is a 2-6. And another single for Pee Wee Reese. What a day for Reese as he has picked up his 5th hit. He is running. It's a 1-13 to be safe, and it is a 15. So Reese gunned out, and now it's Snyder's turn. 5-5. Fly ball to left. There's 2 away. And now Robinson, a 4-4. And this is Howell back behind the plate. An 11 on a 15. 11 on a 15. Dodger threat neutralized. We head to the 12th. Reese led off the bottom of the 11th with a single, promptly thrown out for the second time, trying to steal second. And you're going to live and die by the aggressive base running, and we're just going to have to deal with it. As Bob Usher will lead things off, Phil Haugstad staying in the game, and it is a 6-10 from Haugstad. And this is Reese again at shortstop. A 12 on a 7. 12 on a 7. 1 away. As Johnny Werostek comes up. It is a 6-4. And now it's Snyder out in center field. The Duke. 10 on a 9. 10 on a 9. And there's 2 away. And now it's Howell with 2 down in the top of the 12th, and a 4-10 from Haugstad. And it is a 5. And there's a 2-out single for Howell as Roy McMillan now. Haugstad's offering is a 1-7 with 2 outs. They're going to pinch run Lloyd Merriman. 1-7. And a ground out to short. That ends the inning. Scheffling going to come on to bat 7th and catch for the Cincinnati Reds. Other than that, we head to the 12th. Score remains tied at 7 as Gil Hodges, a 6-10 to Hodges. And this is McMillan at shortstop. A 13 on a 14. 13 on a 14. And now it's Campanella. Campy has had a rough go of it today. A 3-5 for Campy. Fly ball to left field. And he is retired again, and now it's Carl Furillo. Pitch on the way to Furillo is a 1-7. He is 1 for 5 on the day. And he makes it 1 for 6 as he grounds out to short. And we are headed to the 13th as Barney McCoskey comes in. This is his first at-bat of the season. Pitch on the way to McCoskey is a 1-10. And he flies to left, 1 away, and Connie Ryan will hit again. Ryan 3 for 6 on the day, and he gets a 3-10. On a split, it's an 18. And he picks up a 1-out single. Ryan on at first. No steal attempt, and it's Grady Hatton now. 5-8 on the way to Hatton. And it's Robinson, perhaps a double play opportunity. It is a 3, so no double play on an 11. So it'll be a fielder's choice. Ryan moves up. Adcock now digs in. A 1-7 to Adcock. Single, that scores Ryan, and the Reds have a 1-run lead. As they plate 1 in the top of the 13th, it'll be Klazuski now. A 6-7 on the way. A split chance, it's an 11. And Klazuski drives the ball for extra bases. As runners now stand at second and third, Haugstad laboring now. As Bob Usher digs in with 2 outs. Pitch on the way is a 4-6. And he walks him. Not a lot of options available, especially if we were to extend it. We'll go with, well, they've got lefty, righty, righty, lefty. We need 1 out. It's going to have to be King. So Clyde King going to come into the ball game to hopefully finish off the Reds in the 13th and end the threat. Pitch on the way is a 6-5. And he gets a fly ball to left. That will end the inning, but the Reds get 1 more, and the Dodgers find themselves having to come back for what I believe to be the 3rd time this afternoon. As Billy Cox will lead off against Frank Smith. And a 3-9 on the way to Cox. On a split, it's an 18. And a leadoff double for Billy Cox. As Don Thompson now steps up. Not a lot of options left on the bench for the home squad. As Thompson digs into the box, we are probably going to try to move the runner to third. But I just don't, there's not much left to choose from. As Erskine will come in to pinch hit for Thompson. with the bunt likely. And it is a good sack that moves Cox over to third with 1 out. And now the pinch hitter. We are looking back in the right-hand column, and it will be Mixus. So Mixus is going to pinch hit. Infield's in. Eddie Mixus digs in against Frank Smith. And it is a 3-9. And a ground out to third, so Cox has to hold, and it'll be all up to Pee Wee Reese. As Reese steps in, pitch on the way, a 5-4 to Reese. And it's Scheffling back behind the plate on a 9 and an 8. And a pop out to the catcher, and the ball game is over as the Dodgers cannot find a way to defeat the Cincinnati Reds today after coming back 3 times. They fall to the Reds today by a final score of 8-7. Reds' final line goes 8 runs, 15 hits, no errors. Brooklyn 7 runs, 17 hits, and 2 errors. As we take a look at the box score, Dodgers had the tying run on at third base with 1 out, and they couldn't find a way to get him in. As Preacher Rose started the game for the Dodgers, and he got shellacked. He went 6 innings, gave up 10 hits, 7 runs, all of them earned. Walked 1, struck out 5, 2 home runs. Levine came in, did a good job. Bronca came in, did a good job. And then they just couldn't find a way to get the run that they needed. They had several opportunities, especially in extras. But the Dodgers could not get it done, and they fall today to the Reds by a final score of 8-7. Again, the Reds victorious over the Dodgers, putting the Dodgers back in the loss column for Game 16. The final score, Cincinnati 8, Brooklyn 7. Until next time, so long, everybody.